got a lot drowned.
Okay, so we're going to, not in this class.
We didn't even know that.
I want it to be on my conference period. So, look at this first problem right here. Okay, so what is the rectangle? Okay, so the rectangle here is the 6 by 5. So I'm going to make it a color. So I want y'all to shade it with your pencil or something. I want y'all to kind of identify the two bases like that. Man, I can't. Yes. Will you write Ashton and Ashton's name on one and put it in a blue folder too, Mr. Brooks? Okay. So right here, I kind of identified the rectangles, the bases. Okay. So my formula, I'm going to ask you that you write all of these formulas down, even if you have a calculator. You're still going to do it this way. So this is the formula off my formula chart, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what do I sub in for big B? Little b times h. Okay, so I'm subbing it in just so you can see. I want you to see what's happening, what that process is. Okay, now what's my base of my rectangle? 5. Okay, what's my height of my rectangle?
8.
How about 6? Because I define this as the base, right?
Just the rectangle.
Okay, now this next number is this number right here. It's the difference between the base and base, the two yellow rectangles. Okay, so now we do need to find this. Okay, do you want to talk about that for a second?
Oh, okay, like as far as order of multiplication, okay, what's 1 times 2 times 3? I know the answers are out there, but, right, okay, so what's 2 times 3 times 1? That was not up there. Right, so the order, no, it doesn't matter what order you multiply it in, you're going to get the same number either way. You need to set the stuff up in this order just so you make sure that you put the numbers in the right order, because on other shapes, the order actually matters. But once you're ready for the multiplication, the order you multiply it in doesn't matter. Make it easy on yourself.
And really, if you don't say, okay, like if you said, well, I think the base is 6. Well, okay, the base is 6. That doesn't technically matter. Now, you're going to get into later where they're going to ask you to solve backwards. And they'll give you 2 sides, and you're solving for a specific side. They'll give you the volume and there's 2 sides and ask you to solve for that third side. So it may matter a little bit more there, but I mean, in this particular instance, it's not going to really matter. Are you with me? Okay, so 5 times 6 is what? 30. Times 8. Okay, 30 times 8 is? 240. And this is inches cubed. Okay, so pretty simple. Okay, right? Pretty simple breakdown. Okay, let's look at the next one. Are you writing this down, Mr.? Okay, so we have our formula. This is the formula on our formula chart. We know it's a rectangle. We know it's a prism. We know it's rectangular. Okay, so I want to review a concept real quick, just in case we don't know. We know that. Okay, I'm going to do the sides in green. These are all sides, right? Do you know that? Okay, what are your vertexes? Huh? It's the points where it meets. So like right here, your vertices, you're calling vertices. I guess y'all call them vertices. Okay, so vertices.
Vertex is 1, vertices is more than 1.
Yeah. Okay, so I want you to break this down. So what are my rectangles? My rectangle, I'm going to use it as the top and bottom, the one it's sitting on. Okay, so my volume is, what is my base?
7.
Okay, what's my height? 4. And then what's my height? 3. It's the one between. So 7 times 4 is?
28.
28.
Times 3, you got 84.
Okay, times 3. And then 28 times 3 is 84.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So I want y'all to try number 3. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds, and then we're going to talk about it.
Don't talk like that. You want it to rain all day.
I got my car today. My car broke yesterday.
put it down.
Why is your car always breaking down? That's a piece of crap. You said it now.
Get a new car.
Yeah, get a new one. I'm pretty sure you make enough.
Just
I mean, then again, you got
I'm paying my wife's car. It's in the garage. I'll fix it tonight.
he said hopefully.
Okay, what's my base here? 3. What's my height of my rectangle? 2.7. And then what's the height of from base to base? 2. Okay, so now here's where I could do it easier order. I could say 3 times 2 and get 6 times 2.7.
I thought you said it.
Don't get your time sign in your decimal mixed up.
I need to write it differently. I got 16.2. Is that what y'all got?
I got it. Oh, dang it.
Okay, feet cubed. Okay, so where you're going to finish, there's 3 problems on the back side. I mean, no. There's 5 problems of rectangular prisms. What, did you get different numbers?
No, I did it another way.
That's okay. It's okay, but that's,
Do we only do the rectangle?
no, only do the rectangular prisms. Only the rectangular prisms.
That's the other one.
So our formula from our formula chart is this formula right here. And so we just kind of talked about what the big B stands for. Big B stands for
Area of
the base. How about area of the base, okay? So big B equals area of the base, okay? So the base is my bottom figure, or sometimes it's, most of the time it's going to be what it's setting on, or they will define it by shading it somehow, okay? That's how they usually define it. They either shade it or they say, okay, whatever it's sitting on. That works for a rectangular prism. If you have a triangular prism, it's going to be different, and we'll talk about that more tomorrow, okay? So area of the base is what this stands for, okay? What is my shape here on this figure? It's a rectangle, right?
Yeah.
So a rectangle's area formula is
Area equals base times height.
base times height. So we're going to insert that formula in for the big B. That's what you do, okay? Now you still have this H is still there. So y'all may have seen it in the past as length times width times height, okay? So I'm just giving you, like on the formula chart, area of a rectangle says B times H. That's why I'm giving you this way. This B times H is the same as length times width. Are y'all with me? That's a formula you know, okay? So, for example, on this specific rectangle, we have a base of 4, okay? So 4 is the base. The height of the bottom rectangle is what? 3. And the height from, pay attention before y'all go too far, from base to base, okay, if this is my base to base, is 5, okay? So 4 times 3 times 5. So 4 times 3 is what? 12 times 5 is 60. And that's what we got when we counted these up before, right? We counted these up and we decided there were 60 units. So we would do 60 units and then cubed because it's volume and it's 3-dimensional. Are you with me there? Okay? So everybody kind of understand the breakdown of this formula and how you break it down. This formula works for rectangular prisms, and we'll talk about triangular prisms too, and it also works for that. But you would sub in a different formula. You wouldn't sub in base times height. You would do, on a triangular prism, you would do base times height divided by 2, which is the area formula for a triangle. But we'll talk, I don't want to blow your mind. See the lights? They're like, okay.